Hello, and welcome to How to Drink Live, and I am so sorry to keep you guys waiting for 15 whole minutes. That's too long. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Well, welcome to the room, and today, you know what's funny? Well, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all well and sheltering in place and remaining indoors as the bit goes. You'll notice my microphones are still pointing from the bar up. I haven't flipped them yet, because my God, it has been a heavy couple of days. We've just been so busy. And I'm going to look something up for you all now, right now. Mela cocktails. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Just wanted to have that ready. So welcome to the bar. And, I should mute this, right? That's not good. We should have this definitely muted. All right. Okay, it's 4:30. I got an important phone call at 6 that I got to hop onto, so we have 90 minutes, so let's do it. How is everybody? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? Everybody's still hanging out and sheltering and being well, and Brazil's going through some rough times now. Things will likely get ugly. I haven't been following the news. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm all right, a drifter. Groovy, staying loose, Agent 403, Twitch staff, and subscriber. All right. Winning over the brass. Thank you, Agent 403. Digipat, hello, Jersey. How much do I have to donate to you for the Victorian absinthe diffuser? Are we referring to this guy? Which reminds me, I don't know if I actually brought a spoon. If I don't have an absinthe spoon, I'm going to have to step away. I usually have one or two on set. They just show up here. But shoot, dang it, shoot. Ah, here we go. Perfect. Oh, a lovely one too. All right, we have an absinthe spoon. Perfect. So I figured I'd do some absinthe today. You finally caught a stream. Welcome aboard. I don't know if this is a diffuser. It's a fountain. I would call it a fountain. I can't move it either. That's important. Well, shoot, Nanny. Try it. Right there. That might be better, actually. A little bit more light. Okay. 175 people here. So, Quasi Kaiju. Hey, Greg, can you do the Death of the Cocktails from Danger 5? You know what is so funny, Quasi? I just cannot get Danger 5 in the States. I can't find it on a streaming service or anywhere, so I'm going to try and find it. Well, this is new, and I'll reveal my secrets in due time. But I have a new thing going on in here today. Wait till you see this. How's my back feel like it's... You guys have back trouble? Sometimes my back fires those warning shots across the bow, like, watch out, baby. It's going to be all kinds of electricity, lightning, and paralysis real soon. I gotta watch out for that. You gotta do a little self-care. You're watching the sipping on your Greg Cagney's breakfast. Love it. I like it. Doing all right, Greg. Wish I could find falernum in Canada. You know, you can make your own, the hammer. I don't have a recipe offhand. And one experience I had trying to make it myself, it went bad super duper fast. So that's something I should... I think Adrienne's yoga YouTube videos are the ones that I follow, actually. I can't be sure off the top of my head, but I actually think that's the ones I do. Meredith is here to let us know there's more fancy new tools, but actually, you know what we got to do? Meredith, you are a mod. All right. So if anybody gets out of line, you're the bouncer. Do you want him to die, Gunsmith? Greg, try to make Jägermeister, combine red wine and absinthe, and drink it from a German glass. Jägermeister, red wine, and absinthe. So the thing, Jägermeister and absinthe have really similar flavor profiles. I don't think you get a whole lot of new stuff that way. So this company on Instagram said, hey, can we send you some stuff? Actually, they didn't. They found my address and just sent me their stuff, which was a little bit... Look, guys, it's a little creepy, but fine. And so they sent me some glasses and some mixing stuff and a fountain, an absinthe fountain. And it's neat. I don't know if you know, I mentioned, I think on a video that absinthe fountains are pretty expensive. This one is fairly affordable, but it's smaller. It's a small sphere, 2 spouts, and it is it's light. The glass feels light. I mean, if it wouldn't survive a drop, honestly. I can just tell you that. But it'll do the job. And I have a few thoughts about it, honestly, that are not 100% positive. I wish it had nicer spouts. I'll just say that. Like, they probably look okay on camera, but they're like that chrome-plated plastic. I don't love that. And the way that you, they have like little compression glands that you kind of screw tight and then stick in there like a cork. That is not my favorite. And if I really want to be a nitpick, I feel like these side pipes, these fountain pipes, should be lower so that you actually get the bottom out. But overall, it looks pretty nice and it's affordable. What could you mix with a Verna? A lot of things. Verna, you can do anything with Verna. That's a great Amaro. And I haven't had a chance to actually put it through its paces yet, so let's do it. And I think I've just revealed my willingness to give somebody a negative review, so who knows? We could go real sour on this one. But I will show you guys the link to the company, and I can't pronounce it. I really, honestly, Amala Company. It's the Amala Cocktail Company, so here's a link in chat. I have that power. I can share links with you. All 200 of you. You know what would be fun? Let's do this by poll, too. Manage poll. Cool. It kept disappearing. New poll. Pick my drink. And it's La Mousse Verte. Doc Herschen. This is not Soper level. Leatherby. Le Charlotte. Or St. George. Is it fun to watch me type? I hope so. I'm typing. Start. Poll's running. I shouldn't scream into this microphone. I'm sorry. Poll's running. Pick my drink. And if it's do you have the power to link? Probably, Meredith. Test it. And if you can't see the poll, it's because it's the same color as the chat window. They should work on that, by the way. Twitch, I'm talking to you, staff guy. And it's all the way up at the top of the chat window. People can, the polls are always disappearing, I'm being told. So they sent me this fountain. Ooh, careful, Greg. They sent me, I don't think I have any of, they have this nice stuff. I like this stuff they do. They do this like chipped look. This is pretty cool. I'll keep that handy because I'll show you a closer shot of that later. And they sent me these absinthe glasses, which I actually like quite a bit. They have a good look and a nice defined reservoir, which lets you do some fun tricks if you want. I don't think I have the equipment to do that today, but that's okay. And they sent me a few other things too. They sent me some, I'm sorry, I keep turning my back to the camera. I learned in middle school, this is Battersby. Middle school, drama class, don't turn your back to the front of the house. But they sent me some Nick and Nora glasses that I don't have handy, unfortunately, but they're like that mixing glass. They have that chip look. I like those a lot. Those are pretty. So while we're waiting for this poll to wind down, have I done Brass Monkey? No. Brass Monkey's a funny one too, because the song kind of gives one recipe for it. You mix it in the cup, blah, blah, blah. I don't know the lyrics off the top of my head. But Brass Monkey was actually a Hubline canned cocktail back when you could sell those kinds of things. And it was kind of, I think, more like a canned Mai Tai. I've looked into doing it, honestly. I had to stop watching the Harry Potter video. Well, then I screwed up, Dr. Doom. Can you do both at the same time, please? He was a little drunk after his idea and come out and stuff, and you know that feel tomorrow. I don't know any of those. Should I get absinthe glasses or coupes for my social isolation and limited space? Coupes are going to serve a lot more use, honestly. And because absinthe glasses are, very specific. Oh, those are bottles. Those are just bottles of absinthe. So just pick. Any recipes with a Gifford Pamplemousse? Off the top of my head, no, but I mean, oh God, grapefruit is so wonderful in so many things. Do like a grapefruit, a little in a mojito, a little bit in any kind of a spritz, and put it into, make it, pair it up with some gin and some seltzer, make it Collins. little simple in there. Gin, or swap the gin for your tequila and make a paloma. All kinds of things. So it looks like La Muse Verte was the winner of the poll. And that is this absinthe traditional, all 100% natural, which is why it's in this blacked out bottle, because this one apparently is super susceptible to light damage and decoloring. So let's read the label for you. La Muse Verte's absinthe traditional is an artisanal family recipe from the early 1900s with a historical alcohol content of 68%. It also has a present alcohol content of 68%. Because La Muse Verte Absinthe Traditional contains no added sugar, no additive, and is entirely natural, it is sold in black bottle and needs to be kept away from light and cold. Do 5 volumes of water to 1 volume of La Muse Verte. Product of France. A lot of people are going to say, oh, I can't get real absinthe in America. You can't get that real absinthe. Well, here's the thing. You can. There was a ban on absinthe in general, writ large, until I think the early 2000s. Does it skunk like beer? No, but it will turn clear. Absinthe is supposed to be green, or usually it's green, but if the sunlight will destroy the chlorophyll in it that makes it green, and it will turn clear. Have you thought about using Zoom for your D&D sessions? It will look better than Discord. I am still working on it, Houston. I have a lot of things going on. Honestly, what I want to run it on is New Tech NDI over internet, but that's going to cost me some money. Whoa, man. Kawaii Guy coming in here, throwing out those subs like a maniac. Thank you, Kawaii Guy. Thank you. Anyway, what are your thoughts on absinthe in cocktails instead of absinthe? I think in a cocktail is fine. I mean, the thing is that, like, you know, you gotta put them side by side to really answer that question accurately. But you're in a cocktail, for the most part, you're using a dash, you're using a rinse, you're using so little that you can probably get away with something like absinthe or even, you know, like a pastis or something. Pastis. Oh, Hemingway Daiquiri. Yeah, that's a good one too. Thanks for the sub very much. So generous. Kevlar is subscribing. Watching from work is throwing some emotes at me. By the way, since we're all working from home, I think those extra emotes I owe you is on the way. Nope, this is an absinthe fountain. We're going to play with this in a minute. So, let's begin. We have, our valves are off. So the first step here, and I'll bring this back out when I need it, is we got to put some ice into the fountain. I have my hand, whoa, gotta be careful there. Things have shifted around a bit. Bar. Handy dandy freezer. I have some food supplies in here as well. Normally, I don't permit the lady to add food to my bar freezer, but at the moment we have some spare pasta, a couple of loaves of bread down here. And this ice kind of melted together, actually. This is fine for what we're going to do here. All I need is my ice knife, which, as I deflate visibly on camera, should be around here somewhere. Ah, Jeebus. Can you guys... Oh, for carving or farvin. Oh, here we go. Nope, nope. That's a spoon. Can you guys wait for 5 seconds? I'm going to run upstairs. I'll be right back. I want to get this thing. So enjoy the swinging sounds of my Be Right Back screen and also an ad for the next 300 seconds. All right, so I'm back. Sorry for the delay. If the ad is still running, I apologize for that as well. This is a bar knife, ice knife that I got from Barfly Mixology. It was actually, oh, that's not good for them. So Barfly, you should work on this. I do have some issues with it. Some things about the handle have changed shape as it's Oh boy. That's not the kind of thing you want to see happen. There we go. It's funny though. This is the thing that I saw at a trade show, and I saw from across the room. I said, "Ooh, what's that?" It's an ice knife. If you know, well, hold on. Let me show you. Okay, so did that work? It worked. Yeah. Okay. So cool. So you can see here, it does act like an ice pick, and I have terrible light here, unfortunately. Maybe I have more light than I thought. And it will ice pick. It's super rigid, so you can totally stab stuff with it. And it has this crazy beveled edge on it, so you can like, here, I'll just show you. You guys can also see how fucking disgusting my hands are. You can really easy, and sometimes you see me doing this on the show, but like it's so easy to just shave ice off of this thing. It's wild. So anyway, yeah, I think it's pretty cool, right? And then you can just totally, you should have it on a stand, something like that. You can use it as an ice pick or a knife, whatever. I think it's pretty handy. Okay, so we're back to the regular camera angle now. I need tally lights, but I don't know how to set that up. That seems like it would be beyond me. And we're just going to throw some ice up here into the sky. Now you'll see why I wanted this, because I have these big pieces of ice because of a freezer incident that happened somewhat recently. And I need to chip them all apart. And for those of you who are wondering if my bar is clean enough to be doing this on, what do you care? You're not drinking here. These appear to have once upon a time been Cullen spears. Oops. God, you know what I should do on live stream as a bit one day? I should just recreate the knife show. Do you guys remember the knife show? Like some weird home shopping network thing. Came on at like 2 in the morning when I was in high school. This guy would just be like, "Hey Frank, what do we got today? We got 227 lock knives coming out of here. They got this rainbow handle. God, they're beautiful. That's a full tang Japanese katana." Alright. You guys remember that show? I do. Just be like 3 hours of these two dudes selling like huge amounts of knives. It was just like, what do you get when you order? You're gonna get 175 folding lockers. You're gonna get 33 full tang balisong. You know, it's just like crazy mountains of knives. And then there's a video of it went viral where a guy like cut himself pretty bad on a katana. It was just like, stop the show. I mean, I think he was fine. I shouldn't laugh, but you kind of have to. Anyway. Whoa, howdy, Iraq. I hope everything's okay for you there. Have you heard of Doom Eternal? I have heard of it. I haven't played it yet. Maybe if we get into some gaming, we'll do that too. Hey, what did the bartender say after Charles Dickens ordered a martini? I can't see where that joke's going, so fire away. I could see you like a knife salesman in an alternative universe. Okay, so I've got just some water, which will be made very cold by being poured over all this ice. Now we're going to find out if these pour spouts do in fact shut off. And it looks like they do. They hold water. Uh-oh. They don't. God damn it. Womp womp. Hey man, that's not my fault. Jeez. You gotta be kidding me, guys. Okay, there we go. Oh, they're not paddle gates. They're like screw gates. Okay. Okay, that's actually user error. Alright. Yeah, it's clean. Yes, it is water glass. That's fine. Okay, let's do some absinthe. Well, you know, now that's not user error. So the way you use an absinthe glass, when you have one like this, the idea is that there's this 1:5 ratio, 1 part absinthe, 5 parts water, and they have these reservoirs at the bottom so that you can fill just to that reservoir, and then the rest of the way is water. And so if we go, so what do we do here? We got bar close-up. We can go here, or we can go bar split. Whoa, what do you think of that? All right, so we'll go for the close-up here, though. Here's my pour. Okay, so there's my 1 part of absinthe. Now, you don't have to, but especially if it's this kind of absinthe where there's no what do you call it? No sugar added, right? No dosage or anything like that. It's an okay close-up, guys. This is not my sexiest close-up. I threw this thing together in about 10 minutes ago. So, you know, I could get a robot, Meredith, if you're still watching. We could get like a motorized slider that tracks a target and sweeps back and forth on a shot. I mean, it could be a thing. A few bucks for that. So you don't have to add sugar to it, but the idea is that, I mean, certainly this one's unsweetened, and I've drank it before, so I know I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, guys. Let's do the close-up here. You know what I don't like about that close-up is my gut. All right, so we'll just turn this on, and I'll go back to the close-up, and we'll just turn this on. I hope I'll turn this on. Oh, come on, baby. Okay. And we can set this to be as slow or as fast as we want, hypothetically. In theory, I haven't used this thing at all. I gotta say, I hate to throw these guys under the bus, but man, this is one chintzy feeling little spout. I don't love it at all. I don't know that I can even trust. I mean, you can't trust it because it's leaking all over the place. So in the process you're witnessing is the loche. You're watching a loche. I wish I had another little light that I could throw in here. I do, but not on me. We could slow that down too. I mean, I think that, you know, if you wanted to be really precious about it, go to drip per second. Oh, sure, I can tell you a little bit about myself. It's a very milky loaf. Very milky. I was an editor. I edited social media videos, advertisements, you know, like stuff for brands. Some TV, but not much. Commercials, that kinds of stuff. I worked with Meredith, actually. She was a producer where we worked. Well, one of the places I worked. A production company. Animation, visual graphics, effects house, whatever. I don't know how you call them. They made stuff. And so I was a freelancer, and I was scrounging for the gigs. And yeah, it was a motion graphics house. That's fair. And so I liked making drinks. And I guess the real kicker on that is that before I became an editor and before I even went to film school, I had a gig for a while as a production assistant at this place called Michael Schramm and Company. You could look them up; they're still around. It might be a gnat floating in there, which I don't know how that got in there. To be, I don't love that. Should we do this again? Should we just dump this? What the hell? Gnat? I don't know what that is. Let's do it again, guys. Fuck, it's all over here. Yeah. Sorry about that. Let's start over. That's the miracle of live television, y'all. Looks like toilet water. All right, screw it. Oh man, I don't know what you eat. It looks like my toilet. So I was an editor, and I edited a lot of stuff. And before that, I had that gig as a production assistant at this place called Michael Schramm Company. You can look them up if you're interested. They are a production company that specializes in food photography, food filmography, food cinematography, what they call tabletop film production. So we would do like commercials for Wendy's a lot. We did a lot of commercials for Wendy's there. Commercials for, and some other stuff that wasn't just close-ups. Like I think one of the big campaigns we shot while I was working there was this one for Straight Line hardware tools, and they had like a new laser level they were coming out with, and so that was like a big thing we did with them. Had to build like a whole house in the studio and stuff to tear apart. It was pretty wild. Ironside Computers is a sponsor of the show. Absolutely. They have provided me with a beautiful machine that I have dubbed After Hours. Did I get any free Wendy's coupons? No. Come to think of it, I got ripped off. All right, here we go again. Let's try that one more time. Oh, I forgot to shoot your close-up there. Sorry, guys. It's crazy, too. I'll show you this. Oh, it's on close-up the whole time? I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. Shit, that's why I need that tally light. I don't know how to set that up, though. You can see a tally light would be like a light that tells me which camera's active, and I don't have that action here. I hope you can see. There's like a little green tinge to that. That's how much like green is in this particular absinthe. It's a very green absinthe. Okay. Go over here now. And yeah, we should be all right now. Do my 2 sugar cubes. If I could make a few upgrades to my bar setup or my shooting setup, because they're different questions. My 2 sugar cubes here. We'll start this sucker up again. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Okay, there we go. We'll do it slower this time. We'll be extra precious about it. So, extra setups. Well, I would change these microphones, honestly. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they don't have great range. I'd rather have a couple of Sennheiser 416s, a lot of them, but then I need an interface and a lot of cabling, and I have to run the cabling and everything like that. I wouldn't mind having a few ellipsoidal lights for spotting some stuff in, just a couple of Lecos. But you start looking at a price tag and that stuff, and it's like, that's money. And I guess now, if we're gonna do stuff like this, I wouldn't mind having a little robot for that camera to roll it back and forth. Be fun. I know they make those. And I have thought about replacing one section of this bar with a drip tray. I mean, I'd love to have running water in here, but I don't think that's in the cards. I just don't think I can set that up. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Right now, I wouldn't mind having a crew. Oh man, does the wood get stains? Hell yeah. This is, I don't treat this. This is a big slab of walnut I bought when we were designing this setup from a lumber mill. And it's just treated with mineral oil, like block oil. So every once in a while I'll sand it and re-oil it, and certainly before we shoot. Well, nobody can be my crew right now is the problem, because I, shelter in place and stuff. Yeah, I gotta say that it's totally tight. A little bit more of it. Plastic, you don't want to break them. You can see how they flex when you tweak them, Oh, we're in a garage, yep. Why not a lav? So a lavalier, I shoot the regular show on a lavalier. There's 2 reasons why. I don't personally trust unmonitored wireless microphones. If I had a sound op, like a person who sits there with their, adjusting levels, oh, something's wrong, then I would trust a wireless lavalier. Especially, because when we do, I could right now, I could take you to my desk. I could go to my lounge, like we go to different setups. This is a pretty robust studio equipment setup thing we did here. So just for me shooting alone, I don't trust it. The other reason is that, or in a wired lavalier, I'd be on a tether. It would be a problem. So that's why not a lavalier. How many drinks do you have to pour for the cool splashing camera shots? Usually 1. We get those in 1. I mean, we have to do the close-ups that are a separate shot from the wide-angle shot, but unless we make a mistake, we do most pours in 1. I'm pretty proud of that, to be honest. Use the Twitch dashboard and you can see what your stream looks like. Yeah, I do have that up. I have that up, but it's like delayed, so I've trained myself to not really look at it too much. But I guess I have to rethink that. I still think tally lights would be so much better. I just literally don't know how to set that up. Well, it's not me, Meredith. I mean, we have great people on focus and camera too. I mean, it's me too. Do I have a link for the glass? Yeah, I'll post it again. I think it should be on here. This is this brand, Amelha. They sent me this stuff. Don't know how they got my address. But, yeah. And they make nice looking things. I'm not giving the glowingest of reviews for this little doodad, to be honest. But this is a fine piece of glassware, and it's a fine spoon. And, like, a lot of their glassware is great. Their drinking glasses. So... Is it a party foul not to drink these pours? I don't buy into that, man. No way. No, you gotta do what you gotta do. You're your own person. Don't let anybody else's rules. Don't play your game by anybody else's rules. If it's a party foul for you, I guess that's your choice. But if someone else calls party foul on you, that's not a friend. Don't buy that shit. Do you guys have an affiliate link for the Ironside computers? There should be a link and a code directly below the viewer in the thing, the space, the panels, the doobly-doo, if I to borrow from Matt Coville. Hey, HTD and family. Yeah, hello, Swift Death 420. It's so fun talking to you people on Twitch with all of your clever names, you scamps. Heavy metal. Love your show. Greetings from Germany. What up, homie? The link is the picture below the stream. Dude, I love your show. Rocking the painkillers today in my isolation. I hope you mean the drinks, not the pills. Okay, I think that's a full drink. Let's turn this off. And you know what's funny is this little valve seems to, as the head height is dropped here, this little valve has a little less weight behind it. It's holding out. So maybe I just overfilled it. And then typically when you do with the sugar cube, you should give it a stir. Really kind of mix that in. Moondrunk's a good name. It's a loud-ass glass. I've been streaming for a while, Dicey. Yeah, I think watching from work is a great name. I don't have a go-to beer, but I will occasionally drink beers. To be perfectly honest, the beers I drink are either beers I buy for the show, and then I have a few extras afterwards, and then I don't really need another beer again unless I'm out and I'll see something that's on draft that's interesting. Or when friends come by and bring me beers. I have one friend, Travis, who helps me on the show a lot. A guy I've known forever. But he's a brewer, so a lot of times I'll be drinking his beers, actually. So, and there's still a lot of sugar at the bottom there, but that's okay. So this is La Mousse Verte, prepared in the traditional manner. Delicious. Oof. I haven't had an absinthe in forever, and I forgot how much I love that. Damn. Like a white chocolate licorice treat. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, that licorice is so nice. I will do that, Agent 403, and be healthy and good. So have I thought about making my own alcohol? I have thought about brewing, and actually, if we may set up for that if I'm going to be self-producing for a long time, because that's the kind of content that I could do production on probably pretty well. The one issue is that I need room for brewing that I don't really have. I'm not really sure where I could stick like fermenters and shit around here. Unless you mean spirits, in which case I have not thought about that. I did shoot an episode where we made quote bathtub gin, and I did buy a still for that episode. However, I got real gun shy about using that still. I'm not going to do that. Greg, how would you rate the Cocktail Kingdom mixing glasses? I would rate them as being, I hope I'm not. I don't want to. I think the Cocktail Kingdom strives to make the best of the best. Professional grade, top notch, and oftentimes historical recreations, best of the best stuff. A lot of people in my comments have, because I used to share links to them, and I still have some of their stuff around. A lot of people in my comments have complained to me over the years about it. It's expensive, and the shipping is pretty expensive. Um, the what's great about Barfly is that they, and it's not Barfly, there's no Barfly here, is that they make very good stuff that's much more affordable. If you really want the best of the best, if you want like, you know, the Bugatti, you got to go with Cocktail Kingdom. That's not to say that you can't get, I mean, obviously I would not be sharing Barfly tools and repping Barfly if I didn't stand by the product. Greetings from the Netherlands. Enjoyed your episode on Jenever and gins. Do you have a favorite Jenever? No, I don't. You can shave off some time if you use extract. The liquor store on our island is closed due to the outbreak. What island are you on, Gray Assassin? That's such a statement. You just float that into conversation. Liquor store on the island. Oh, man. You get to say things like that when you're an island person. Greg, how would you rate the Cocktail Kingdom? Oh, we're going back to there. Oof, what did I miss? You didn't miss nothing. So that's how you make it traditional. This one is a little bitter, and it does have a kind of a bite to it. Now, the one thing I would say is that this spoon is a bit limited by this reservoir, so I'm having a hard time getting my sugar in there. I would like to get a little bit of the sugar more dissolved. Oh, Crete, okay. Well, greetings to Crete. Glad to have you here. I was hoping to have some big announcements today, but unfortunately we're going to have to wait on that. We don't have all of our ducks in a row on that material. I am not raising ducks. Oh, I see. That's a joke. Andrew, you got Nightbotted. I'm sorry, man. You can't do the caps. Nightbot doesn't like that. I could dial that back. What's your opinion of Ouzo? You know, I can't remember the last time I had Ouzo. I need to do more. I need to know more. You need to stop editing your gameplays and just post them all to HTD too. I don't edit them. It's just, oops. I don't edit them. Stirring is very loud. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's loud for me too, to be honest. I won't do it that way again. You are getting a Warhammer drink. You're going to get Fenrisian Ale in the coming weeks. I love that. That's wonderful. It's pretty intense, though. It has a real herbaceous finish on that one. It's a biting absinthe. Nice, though. It tastes very real. You've not been able to watch RimWorld. Well, you got to take that up with Meredith. She's in charge of that. Greg, do you know the English name for a drink made of Cointreau, Baileys, and coffee? 115 in proportions. No. One more time. Baileys, Cointreau, and coffee. Sounds lovely, though. Honestly. It sounds almost like a affogato kind of thing, like an ice cream and espresso thing. I would imagine that's kind of where it winds up. I don't know the name for it, but it sounds nice. Do I like pisco sours? Sure, I like pisco sours. We went to Greece, they would give you free ouzo shots everywhere. Do you watch other bartenders on YouTube? Occasionally, yes. This is called an absinthe fountain, for those of you who are wondering. It's for dripping, it's a misnomer, but that's what it's called. It's for dripping water into your absinthe. Karlsson's Kaffe in Swedish. I've always had trouble judging whether or not I'm stirring stirred cocktails correctly. I sometimes have trouble keeping the spoon on the outside of the ice. I worry I'm not stirring things down far enough regarding dilution. So, that's a good question. Let's set up for that. Oh, there we go. There. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I got a spoon in my hand. And I'll just move this feller someplace out of my way. Get out of my way. Turning my back to camera is excellent stagecraft. Okay. So I've got my mixing glass. Move my beverage over here. And there's my mixing glass. Right? We got some drip water in there. That's fine. Let me just line up this shot and manually focus it because fucking live, guys. There we go. Okay, cool. That's focused now. Okay. Can't autofocus it because there's no like it would screw itself up. Yeah. I got some ice cubes here. So I've got my ice, and I'm going to put it into my mixing glass here. I'm going to crack it up. This wasn't a question about how to crack ice. This was a question about how to stir. But let's go to the close-up anyway, so you can see my hand. Okay. Ooh, a rusty nail with dolma. You know, and that's funny, I don't make a lot of the, I mean, just because there's too much variety, right? But to be perfectly honest, I don't make a ton of the drinks that I've invented for the show on a regular basis, but I do love the Rusty Anchor, that gin rusty nail I came up with the Angostura Bitters float. So I have way overloaded this thing with ice, which is fine for our experiment. I just need my bottle of water. Here it is. And I'm just going to put something in here so we have some liquid. Boom, 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 boom. There's like a 6-ounce pour. Okay. Maybe not 6 ounces, but whatever. So the first thing is, see, this is the bowl of the spoon here. That's what they call this part, the bowl. You want to make it so that the outside, the bottom of the bowl, is facing to the outside of your mixing glass, right? So we come in. This is actually really overloaded, like that. And now the goal is to turn it. Yeah, and this is all just about, like, the real thing is, like, you just stir it up, it's fine. But your goal is to turn it in such a way that the center is always pointing to the middle. And I actually have this thing so overloaded that it's becoming difficult. And what I'm doing, and you know, you'll get a feel for this. Some people have said, oh, I do a push and a pull. A push and a pull is interesting. Yeah, that works. And you can't see my fingers, unfortunately, but I can't pivot the camera either. I'll just go to the bar split. So what you see is that I'm doing this kind of, it's resting between these two fingers, and then using my thumb as a fulcrum, I kind of just get a rhythm of push-pull, 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 and it turns on its own. Now, why does it turn on its own? It turns on its own because I have enough ice in there. If I didn't have enough ice, that's what I find, is when I don't have enough ice, it does start to want to go to the center. It starts to cross the line, so to speak. The ice is in there to a degree that is kind of making this easier. It packs in the spoon and keeps it where I want it to be. So that's why that works. And we're making nothing but really cold water right now, of course. It's funny, I can see that the shutter speed can't quite keep up with my hand, or there's a synchronization thing happening because I'm stirring way faster than it looks on camera, which is hilarious to me. Got it? Oh, so wrong camera. I pushed the wrong switch. Okay, so does that answer your question? I don't know. So if we keep going, and actually we're gonna hit kind of a, there's so much water to ice ratio here that we're gonna hit kind of a criticality here where it just can't melt anymore. It's too cold. But if we went and kept doing this to the point where there would be less ice in it, here, let's take some ice out. Screw it. I got tongs. What are they for if not this? I would just want to, like, it's so silly that I'm using these tongs. Why wouldn't I just use my hands? Let's take some ice out. Okay, let's just try and loosen it up in here. Okay, now it's a little too loose, I think. So now, it's actually fine for me. because my speed, the centripetal motion of it is kind of pushing it to the edge. But now, yes, if I'm not really perfect with my technique, what's going to happen is that sure, it'll cross. So when I find that I'm having issue keeping my spoon to the wall and rotational, and by that I mean, you know, like, see, well, there's no way to do this for me from that angle. But if I can do this, it kind of goes like that, right? Kind of goes like that. It's twisting and turning. Yeah, so if it's anyway, if I keep it rotational, you will find I'm sorry, I don't know, I lost my train of thought here trying to watch the chat room at the same time. Yeah. So if it starts to cross over, I think typically for me that's an indicator, oh, I've done a lot of melting. I've got a lot less ice than I started with in here, and the drink is ready. That's generally what that means for me. I've done the melt. The melt is done. Hope that was helpful. This gets better. It's a little better. I've never seen bottom. Ready up a bit. Some water here on the bar. So that's probably it. You should be using more ice, yeah. Or, how big is your mixing glass? Because you might have gotten... My first mixing glass that I bought when I was kitting up my bar was too big. I had one that was made for, like, you know, making like 3 drinks in, or 4 or 5 drinks, you know, big, oversized mixing glass. You're going to need a lot of ice to get a efficient, you know, a proper stir. And, you know, man, we're just kind of splitting hairs here. Realistically, if you move it around in there, it's fine. You know, doing this whole thing, this pageantry with the spoon pointing only inside and rotating perfectly, that's not necessary to make a good drink. It's just sort of what's considered proper form, if you will. Good form, man, good form. Does anybody want to see us do the wrong way to do an absinthe? The Bohemian preparation? Why don't we? So, we'll do a Bohemian preparation of absinthe now. Yeah, we have all this. Which absinthe should we use for the Bohemian preparation? This probably is the one I would want most to use for that. This is Le Charlotte. I bought this absinthe because I was many years ago. Because I was looking to get a bottle of absinthe, and they were so freaking expensive at the time. It was like college student money. And this was the cheapest absinthe you could get. It was like $30. Everything else in the market's like 60. So I'll read the label here. Founded in 1859, Fougerolles, France, the distillery Paul Devois is a family-owned firm which already produced absinthe before the ban in France. I mean, it was founded in 1859. Le Charlotte is based on the traditional recipe of our distillery. Each ingredient, including wormwood, is individually distilled. Oh, that's interesting. So they make a bunch of tinctures. After the blending, a steeping of plants gives it its distinctive color, 100% natural, to our absinthe superior. You can observe this absinthe straight from the bottle. Great. Or with water and sugar. 1 volume of Charlotte into a glass, paste a spoon over the glass, and then a lump of sugar, and then add 5 to 8 volumes of water slowly. Yeah, we'll do the flaming sugar cube thing. We'll do that. We'll do the flaming sugar cube thing. We'll do that. But the one thing I'm thinking is that this absinthe fountain, I'll just go to the close-up here. This absinthe fountain has a plastic thingy, so I'm hoping it doesn't melt. It's held its color. It's a relatively brown absinthe. This is an over pour, but that's okay. You ever explain the reasoning behind which spirits you display on the top? Yeah, it's mostly just bottles I like that I don't need on a moment-to-moment basis, to be perfectly honest. There's sort of an idea that, like, I've got aperitifs and liqueurs up there, but, you know, a lot of times it's like, oh, we needed that bottle? It comes down, grab me something else that looks like that, and that's what's up there. There's not much logic to it. Sorry to disappoint. So, in order for this to work, I will say this. I don't think this is going to work. But I've seen a lot of people do this where they pour some alcohol over the sugar cubes. My understanding was that the vapors from here should allow us to burn these, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's any chance these sugar cubes just burning all on their own. You ever make an MRE cookie? Anybody know how to make an MRE cookie? Okay, so we're going to throw a little bit of the absinthe on here. Oh, this absinthe is 55%, so it's a little less strong than the Limousin Verte. I really just want a little... Ah, come on, stop creeping up the neck. Oh my god. Son of a gun. We're playing with fire, kids, so we gotta take the burning bull stuff off of our fingers. Oh, 55% will definitely burn. That's 110 proof, man. Got a bucket. I'm not worried about burning a couple sugar cubes here, guys. Don't make me look stupid. Alright, there we go. We're burning. Oh, I keep forgetting that I'm close up. So, I don't know if you can see it, but it's burning, but somewhat invisibly. And it's possible that I just put it out by sweeping my hand over the top. Yeah, I think I did. Let me try that one more time. Feeling stupid now. I mean, 55% is way more than enough to burn. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe it's not really 55%. Tell me lies. There you go. My fuel air mix wasn't sufficient. Burn it now. Now, the goal isn't to let it burn all the way off. You do want it to be burning and then add your water, just like you normally would. It's just to caramelize it a bit. I mean, the goal was to sell absinthe in the 90s in Czechoslovakia, but there's there's no quote traditional reasoning for this at all. This was not how absinthe was prepared. It was just because it was cool in the goth scene of Eastern Europe or the rave scene of Eastern Europe. So. Hello to France, or do you mean Switzerland? Rocklight. Should just do like ASMR absinthe dripper content, just like a whole channel of this. So, I'm gonna shoot you guys back in there. Alright guys, sorry about that, wrong button. I should revise this so it's just like less stuff. Do you see that little layer on top? I'm gonna throw a light on here with my iPhone, see if I can get some more light into that glass for you. How's that look? Line it up. So, maybe this is working. I don't know. Probably not. Okay, sorry. No, we'll just put it up here on the front. You can see that there's like a, not 1890s, 1990s, yeah. But goths come from kind of they're an offshoot of New Romantics, which was a new wave punk rock, post-punk thing. And the New Romantics were drawing on the Romantic period and in the Germanic Romantic period. So yeah, they're actually 1890s goths. Yeah, that's like a thing. So I don't know. For a minute there was like a different layer at the top. I think that had to do with our burnt sugar. Czech rap. Okay. Like France, Switzerland. Ah, yes. Czech Republic. Yes. What's your favorite G&T garnish? I'm partial towards ginger and mint. Ginger and mint sound great. I usually just end up when I have a G&T, it's because I'm at someone's house and that's what they've got. I'm not a big G&T drinker. I like them. Fine. But if I have my own supplies, it's probably never a drink I'm going to reach for. So that means my garnish will be a lime because that's what's going to be there too. Durzo, you should check out if you want to, not 1890s, but like 1920s, 1930s raves. Check out the show Babylon Berlin, but only watch it subtitled. Don't watch it dubbed. It's very bad. Dubbed. I love that show. It's slightly anachronistic with its rave like jazz sequences, but I think they captured the spirit, the honest spirit of it, just not like the actual physical reality. How do you garnish with ginger? Like with candied ginger. Like a little couple pieces of ginger candy on a stick. Give you the wide. Sure. We'll go back to the wide. Sorry. What is your favorite non-alcoholic beverage? Ooh, I like a nice cup of coffee. Just plain black drip coffee. That's really nice. It was on Netflix, but it was German television. Looks very much like a glass of green milk. Well, that's what absinthe should look like, honestly. You just put a slice or two of fresh ginger in your drink. Wow, it's pretty wild. I haven't tried that. That's a good idea, though. I haven't done a Colorado Space drink yet. Have I made a Trinidad Sour? I did, but it was in a kind of an episode that nobody watched. If you look back at my videos, you'll see like a little vlog I did that was about going to Bar Convent Brooklyn, and I made a Trinidad Sour in that video. So it's worth redoing because like nobody watched it. Well, there should be a ton of sugar at the bottom of the reservoir because that's how this works. So since this spoon is too wide to actually work inside the reservoir, I am just going to use a bar spoon here. Thank you, Spinner McGee. Rubber spoon. You bought a bottle of Saint Germain a little while ago because you saw it on my shelf, and you don't know what drink that uses it. The only drink I can think of that specifically calls for it off the top of my head is one I invented called a Gin Whisper, and you will find it way back in the early days of the channel. I'm pretty proud of that drink still. I'm sorry about the noise here, guys, but it's a tricky little absinthe glass to work with. So how does the burned up absinthe taste? I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. It's really weird. a terrible aftertaste. No. Woo! So much better. It's not good. And I can't say that it's the absinthe or the burnt sugar. I don't know which. Gin, lemon, Saint Germain, and just about any of the fruit flavor works quite well, to be honest. Yes, that sounds great, Kyle McHugh. The one thing I would say about Saint Germain is that I find personally that it can easily overpower a drink, and that a bar spoon, a quarter ounce, man, you get into like half an ounce. That's a lot of Saint Germain for me. So you may be hard pressed to use a bottle of Saint Germain before it grows some moldy bits. A Russian monkey. I don't know what that. Okay. I watched one of your technique videos. It said a bowl of the spoon should always face the middle. Is that just a stylistic thing, or is it better for mixing? We were just talking about that. I think it's mostly stylistic. I think it's mostly stylistic. Woo! Careful now, fella. You like stable? Be more stable. I think it would be mostly stylistic. I would say that, like, here's where it comes from. I think you're stirring. Why do you stir some drinks and why do you shake some drinks? Because some drinks benefit from aeration and some drinks don't. In a drink that is stirred, you don't want to aerate the drink because it's a drink that doesn't benefit from aeration. So the perfect version of that form would be to not have any disturbances in that stir, to have no air bubbles get in there, and the way to do that is with this kind of a technique where the spoon is pointing in to the center. That's the way to do it. Then of course I am embarrassing myself by not really paying attention to my work and flopping my spoon. So it's just about like, well, if this is why we're doing it, then that would be the apex of doing that. It's just, I think that's really what it comes down to, personally. Yeah, peep that Quina Leor Dior. Right word. Saint Germain, lime juice, gin, Lillet Blanc. Like it. And yes, it is a lot easier. Use more ice. That's the trick. You can't do it without a lot of ice. The ice is the thing. And then when you have a lot of ice in there, and all of a sudden you find, oh, it's hard to maintain my spoon hold, guess what? The drink's ready, because you've melted the ice. Go for a supply run. Good luck. Good luck. Leaving the stream on for the numbers. Okay. I didn't ask you to. I feel like I get in trouble for that. Oh, that stinks, the hammer. There's not, honestly, I think that Saint Germain only has done, I don't know that they do a lot of small bottles, to be honest. What are my thoughts on Four Roses bourbon? Maybe we should find out. Do I have a glass, Andy? Sure. Do I prefer my martinis shaken or stirred? Let's, I'll tell you what I think of this. I like a cube. Alright. I don't have an orange peel handy, so it's just on the rocks here, fellas. And ladies, I presume. I didn't know Eagle Rare did a BIB either. Yes, I like the small batch and single barrel. They're very nice. Yep. I agree with you guys. This is the well stuff I've got. What was that plastic thing in the bourbon bottle? In the bourbon bottle? There was a plastic thing in it? I think that had to be a trick of the camera or something. There's nothing in there. Or do you mean was there a breather in the top? That guy up there? That's just it just slows down the pour to make it easier to pour when you've got, a liter What is this, a 175? A liter and 3/4 behind it. It's just to slow it down so it doesn't dump real fast. Okay, now I've got a mouthful of absinthe tastes, so. It's funny, man. By comparison, it just tastes so harsh. I mean, it tastes like paint thinner when you put it up against it, because your palate is adjusted to something else. Oh, only 0.7 liters in Sweden. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, some bottles have it even on the small side, too. I don't know why some brands have them and some brands don't, to be honest. I think generally speaking it's for bigger bottles, but hold on a second. I got a bottle here. I don't have anything to drink it out of. So swig this from the bottle. I need to drink some water. Iluna Hanatra, you're talking about whiskey rocks, like literal pieces of rock that you keep in the freezer and put it in your drink? I was gonna say, Logatry, Nightbot's slow. I don't know how you got to post that link. Oh, sorry, Logoriel. They are a thing. They're dumb. I hate whiskey stones. Don't gift me them. It's like a few things that like, oh, you're into alcohol. What do I get you for the holidays? And you end up with like a lot of whiskey stones and things like that. The reason that they're dumb is because, like, one, you want melt water in your drink. That's part of why we use ice. Two, they do a very poor job of chilling. And three, if you want your whiskey cold and not watered down, and you have a means of cooling down your rocks, I presume that means you have a fridge or freezer. Why don't you just put it in there? I don't have a very well-established Scotch palate. I like a Glenfiddich 15. I like some peatier stuff once in a while, but it's at rare times. At rare times. And I like those like Speyside. Like they kind of like, to me, a lot of those like split the difference between like an Islay and a Highland. So yeah, that's my riff on that. That's my take on it, but I can't say that I've drank every bottle of Scotch. So, that's true too. You could take the ice out. That's funny. I may have tried the Balvenie. I don't know that I can. You can turn the whiskey stones into D&D dice. You could, but that sounds like an awful lot of work, Funky Jesus, because like I have D&D dice. Am I interested in a bottle of 21-year-old Nika Takatsuro? I am. I'm a little. I feel a little bit weird about accepting those kinds of gifts from fans, though. I don't know, man. What is your favorite rum? My favorite rum is Smith and Cross. I think Smith and Cross for me is the rum I find most utilitarian and delicious. And I gotta say, this is not my favorite whiskey neat. It's pretty, I guess that's peanutty. No caramel notes at all, which I really like in a whiskey. Like, I look for caramel and vanilla in a bourbon. And what I get here is kind of peanuts and salt and something slightly acrid. It's fine whiskey for making sours and things like that, and I've made old fashions with it. You know, you throw a little sugar in there and a little bitters, it's great. Not eminently drinkable. No, Nightbot, I saw it. Don't worry, it was great. It was great. Thank you. I'm out of old granddad, but I've got a bottle or two coming. I was sipping some bottom shelf Four Roses because somebody asked me what I think about it. Fully agreed on Glenfiddich 15. What about favorite straight on mixed rum? Oh, man. Smith and Cross again. Liner's liquor store didn't have it. Self-isolation with a full bar. I'm jail. Oh, I found it's called rusticated rum. Would it be good in a suffering bastard? You know, it would be, except that I think that with the ginger, a lot of the character of the... I should not do this. This is like a bad look for camera. It would it be good? It would be great. It's just that you're paying for character in that bottle of Smith and Cross. It's going to be kind of overpowered by the ginger. So if I had it, I would use it. If I had something else, I might use that. That was Four Roses bottom shelf. Isn't vodka just alcohol and water? Shouldn't it all be the same? They should all be the same, but water isn't all the same, Johnny Trick. Ethanol, it should, vodka ideally should be ethanol and H2O, but they don't use distilled water. So water is different everywhere. And actually there was a big study, I don't remember where it was, that they looked at vodkas and they found that the biggest flavor differentiation from one vodka to the next came with the deproofing water. That's where it came from. You can't find Smith & Cross, I'm so sorry. What are your favorite drinks with Italicus? I don't know any drinks with it. I made up the one. That's it. I mean, I bought it because it looked cool and I was like, oh man, bergamot. I love bergamot. I brought it home and then I came up with some drinks with it. So my favorite drink with it is a pepper up potion right now. Did I miss a discussion of best bottom shelf bourbons? No, but that is something I should do. Bottom shelf is like a really relative term too. And then there's like some bottom shelf bourbons that are impossible to get. Like the Heaven Hill white label bottle and bond that you can only get in Kentucky. That's like, $12 a bottle, but apparently legendary great. Got to make a Picard cocktail with Italicus. Yeah, we probably could. That's a good idea. Have I tried Zacapa rum? I'm sure I have. You guys understand too. Like, you guys got to understand. That's very aggressive. I'm sorry. I've drank a lot of things, but I've drank them in like settings where I'm not like sitting there like, well, what is this? Making notes and stuff like that. There's like big difference between, drinking and like intellectual drinking, like sitting there and like kind of decoding something. If I go to a bar and they're making their house Mai Tais or something with Zacapa, I've had Zacapa, but I haven't had Zacapa. I work in Lowville, so I can get the most bourbons. That's good. I am very partial to the old Granddad B.I.B. God, I love that stuff. Man, Luminaxis. Damn, you guys keep offering semi bottles. Is there a diet or exercise routine you follow to prevent your liver from pickling? Or do you just live it up while you can? Well, I gotta tell you something, Mighty Tom. We got a little something around here called Titian genetics. That's a stupid thing to say. But it's true. Like, historically, there's no issues with that in my family. So, and there's also, there's no issues with, liver problems. And there are plenty of issues with drinking problems in my family. I don't have one, actually, believe it or not, despite the fact that my job has turned into professional professional YouTube drinker. I don't have like a drinking problem. I don't drink that much, believe it or not. I don't drink for days. But so history would suggest that I'm probably okay on that front. But there's no exercise routine that'll save your liver. Just not drinking. Do you ever drink a liquor and love it and not remember what it was called? Maybe. No. There is one rum. I think it was a Diplomatico that I had, but I don't remember which Diplomatico it was that I had that I really liked. And then, I still remember which bottling it was. And there was, I can't get it because it's in Cuba, but the Ron Santiago 11 year was like some of the best damn rum I ever had. Insider secrets, he's a lightweight. Fair enough. How snorked do you get on filming days? I've answered that question before. The truth is that sometimes I get pretty snorked. Although I try to kind of ride a line. Really what happens is I just get hungover like the whole time we're shooting. Eyes. I feel like, if anything, part of your job requires a lot of respect for alcohol unless you are extra aware of avoiding abusing it. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to... I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I grew up with an alcoholic, and you have an alcoholic in the house, there's no liquor, because it all got drank. if I was an alcoholic, all these bottles would be empty. So as long as as long as I can maintain stock, I feel like I think I'm all right. So, last word, fan. What can I do to curb the price of chartreuse? I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. We did a thing on this on Twitch the other day that Benedictine is like as close as I could get to a substitute for chartreuse, but I don't know, man. There's no fix for that. Chartreuse. What do you think the best vodka for the price is? My current choice is Pav. For instance, I saw a video where it was top pick in a blind tasting. You know, it's funny about this. We just shot a video where I kind of answered that question, but I forget what the actual result was. I think it actually was. No, I shouldn't even say. I think it was Tito's. But that's very subjective still. That video comes out. It should come out around or on April 1st. So the answer that I don't have in my head at the moment will come up in that episode. What drinks do you like with a Verna Amaro? One of my favorite cocktails with it is Prospector. 50 m's of Bourbon, 20 of Averna, 10 of... What's PX, man? That like a... What does that mean? Simple? What the heck is PX? And 2 dashes of Ango. I have 1 cat. Man, I wish I could have a bird. I love birds, but man, they are such a commitment. You can't like go on vacation. You can't do anything. You have to like, nah. Oh, Pedro Jimenez. That's funny. Okay, so let me read that again. It's 50 bird, 20 Everna, and then this one's very sophisticated. Well, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I think it's a wonderful Amaro. Can't open it. No, apparently this bottle's just for show. Sealed itself up. I'll worry about that some other time. I think we did a whole thing tasting all the Amaros. Maybe we forgot that one. It was up there. And somebody on stream should have said, you know, there's a bottle right there. We did that a few days ago where I tasted all my Amaros. Kind of put them into different categories. I made an amaretto sour last night using your video. Oh, thank you. Is silver or gold tequila better quality? Meredith. Look. I mean, to be honest, if they're calling it silver or gold, it's probably not a great sign. You should be looking for anything that's 100% agave, and then the 3 grades are age statements: Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. So I guess if you're looking at a mixto, which would be something that comes in silver or gold, and I assume that means you're buying Cuervo. I guess I'd go with the gold, but honestly, I don't even know with Cuervo because it might just be more adulterated. There are some really affordable 100% blue agave tequilas that you can get that are great. And someone, I forget the name of it, one of them is very popular right now, and I can't remember the name of it. See if they have that. Patron may say silver or gold. El Imador is pretty good. You're right. Absolutely. Hornitos. I don't know much about Hornitos. I'm trying to remember. Cheapest 100% blue agave tequila. There was one though that was like, is that Milgaro? It might be Swaza. I'm trying to remember. Luna Azul. Luna Azul. Luna Azul is like $20 a 750, and it's I hear that people like it a lot. But I can't say that I've gone around and done all these taste testings. So take that with a grain of salt. Espelon is super good, Swanee, but she's looking for bottom shelf cheapo stuff. Have you ever tried out Belle Meade bourbon? Nope. And then I would go with a Reposado. If Luna Azul makes a Reposado, I'd go with that. Just because I personally, I mean, a little bit of oak is fine. I think that's good. I think that gives you something. It's like in between. It's in between. You can do a lot of things with that. If it's a huge jump in price, maybe not. Depends on what you want to do. If you're just making margaritas, I guess I still like a Reposado. All right. I love your show, says the Indomitablex. I find you an affable man who makes good cocktails. Very approachable. I appreciate it. Have a what? Where's the second half? Casadores. Yeah, I don't drink enough tequila to have a real good answer on this. I can just tell you what other people have told me. I have like a few bottles of tequila and I go through them very slow. As I said, I don't really drink that much. I go through, you know what our house goes through a lot? Bourbon and gin. Because the wife likes Collins once in a while. And I like an old fashioned. Yeah, it's still not my fave. It's okay. It's a little better now. Meredith named this guy Steve. Would not have been my choice, but fine. She named him Steve. So, Steve. Have you ever used nut liquor in a drink? God, I feel like I'm walking into a joke on that one. So yeah, I have. We used it. Shoot, man, I can't tell you off the top of my head. I don't have. Like recently, we used Witcher potions. Watch the Witcher potions. One of them called for something in the game. It called for Drowner Brain, so I used walnut liqueur because it looked like little brains. What cocktail books should I buy? There's two books I recommend as being my favorite two cocktail books. Now, I have a special situation. I'm not looking for just a list of cocktails, so take this with a grain of salt. Maybe my advice isn't what you need. But for me, the two best cocktail books are Imbibe by David Wondrich and I can never think of the name of this thing. Liquid Intelligence by Dave Arnold. The Daves. So Imbibe is effectively an annotated update on Jerry Thomas's 1860, the original bar manual. I have not tried peanut butter whiskey. I tried to order some, but I couldn't get any for Master Wines. And so the pheasant doesn't have a name. Doesn't have a name. Ooh, that was a big neck crack, fellas. Keep calling everybody fellas. You're not all fellas. Sorry. Very gendered of me. And so Imbibe is like real roots. This is where cocktails begin. And it's a great jumping off place. There's a lot of really good information in there. Dave is fantastic. Dave Wondrich. And tons of history, tons of anecdotes, tons of information. Wonderful. The other one I love is Liquid Intelligence. It's the complete opposite end of the spectrum. It is, well, it was cutting edge science cocktails. I mean, it's just cocktail science. And so for me, hey, how do I carbonate this? How do I separate this? How do I get this to do that? It's a wonderful resource. It's not a book that is if you had one cocktail book that was going to be your guide, I don't know that would be the one you would go with. I think that Meehan is a phenomenal bartender, and his book is great, probably great, but I don't own a copy. I'm sorry, not Jim Meehan. You're saying Morgenthaler. Same thing. Morgenthaler is a fantastic bartender. Love the guy. I just don't own a copy of his book. I'm sure it is a wonderful cocktail book. There's a lot of great cocktail books out there. What is my favorite drink currently? Old fashioned. I mean, that's what I drink so much. My favorite. A lot of people ask me what's the best thing you ever made on the show. I think I always go back to the El Presidente. The El Presidente that we made on the show surprised me so dramatic. It was so dramatic. I made that drink. I was like, oh my god, like I'd never had one before, and it blew my mind how good it was. I am gonna have to wrap it up here though, because I have to hop on the telephone. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope that we're all keeping these home fires burning, and that I am a part of your social isolation coping mechanism. I have a lot of big plans for what we're doing here on the internet this week and next week, and I hope to be able to make some very large announcements and possibly solicit all of your help in something. But we'll see about that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a friend, for going down the road and back again. If you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, the biggest present will be from me to you. Say, thank you for being a friend. So I'll see you guys soon. And I know I haven't done any gaming in a while, but everybody seems to be pretty into the bar thing. I feel like the world needs more of this than that, but maybe we'll do some gaming later. I might get around to some gaming at some point. If I come back tonight, I'll be gaming. If I come back tomorrow, I'll be gaming. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. And I'll see you very, very soon. You guys are the best. And ciao.